the 94X isn't on the market yet, so they were really excited.
Yeah, it's great.
So you like the way it drives?
Oh my gosh.
There's some confidential stuff in there that you weren't allowed to see, but now this is the meat of it. You get to see their vehicles. You ready? Check it out.
We're getting an orange umbrella. Nice.
Wow. This is awesome.
If suddenly you veer off the route and start heading towards Canada or Mexico, we'll know. All right. What's wrong with that?
Where are the keys? Let's take it for a spin. I know, but there's Mickey. Yeah, I know.
You just drive it normally, it feels like a normal car, but when you really press down on the accelerator, you'll feel a real kick in the back, and that's turbocharged. It's called torque.
There's GPS built into it, but you're going to be getting the RVND, so you probably won't need to use any of the real features on this device.
All right, we've got all of our team members right here. They just saw their beautiful Saab cars that they're going to be driving on the rally. Are you amped? Are you ready to go? Yeah! Fantastic. Now, here's an important question, though. Who's the best driver of your group?
Oh, me.
Yeah, see, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem.
Are we taking a picture? Or
Funny video.
Go.
Oh, okay.
So you gonna count down?
Go. Yeah, you guys, it's filming.
3, 2, 1.
What do we do?
Rand
It's like popcorn.
Oh.
Have a great 3 weeks. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Los Angeles and just have fun, enjoy it.
So good luck, have a great time. Thank you, everybody. Work on great things and look forward to July 15th, right? When the winners announced.
While you're blogging and keeping us updated on Best of the Road and tweeting out, know that USA Today will be following your journeys as well.
Traveling Jules and Traveling Joan. See the most fun. And navigate your way because you're going to visit the most patriotic small towns. Are you hungry? Best small towns for food. You're going to be responsible for seeing how friendly the small towns are in America. The friendliest small towns in America from Mount Airy to Walla Walla.
Walla Walla, what else you got?
Navigators are going to let us know what's most beautiful across the country.
Yeah!
The beaches of Florida to the mountains of Oregon. So have a good time.
Thank you.
These towns are so excited about these people showing up. They have been calling, they have been writing.
We got most patriotic towns and we are so excited.
Unbelievably so. Everything worked out exactly the way we wanted.
Got the car we wanted to. Locked, loaded, and ready to roll. Friendliest
Towns.
Woo! We're off!
McNally.
I'm Captain Chris Staudinger.
And I'm Tawny Clark. And together we make
Captain and Clark, the modern cartographers.
And as you may or may not know, we just returned home from living abroad in South Korea for 2 years, and we are more than ready to be reacquainted with the U.S.
We really feel that the small towns of America are its beating heart, and we want to share that with the world.
And we take a different approach to sharing our stories.
Whether it's a unique visual aspect or just the in-depth storytelling, we feel that to really get into the nitty and gritty, you gotta jump in all the way.
Whether you're road tripping traditionally,
we're taking a greener approach. Road tripping is not just the best way to see America. It's almost like the American pastime. It is the American pastime.
So please, spare a few minutes and a few clicks for Captain and Clark.
We'll make sure that it was worth every minute.
We're on a road trip in search of the most patriotic small town in America.
Our great American Odyssey is going to take us across the country on a whirlwind 21-day journey as we stop at small towns along the way and finally end up in Los Angeles.
Our first stop is Williamsburg, Virginia.
This is us. I'm Captain Chris Staudinger.
And I'm Tawny Clark, and together we are
Captain and Clark, the modern cartographers. Join us as we go on this journey, seeking not only what is patriotism, but which small town along the way best embodies it. Come with us as we join Rand McNally on a journey across the USA, trying to find the most patriotic small town in America. It's a journey of discovery and one of the great American pastimes.
We'll see you out there.
Today we got the opportunity to explore colonial Williamsburg, and as part of that we got to see the Jamestown settlement, which was the first colony in America.
And fire! Alright, as far as dig sites go, this one is by far one of the best. The green bag on the hill is where John Rolfe and Pocahontas were.
They would stand.
We were able to see the influence Native Americans have on the America today, as well as replicas of ships that the Jamestown colonists came over on. And these ships are fully functional.
Gentlemen, have a good day. Everything looks fine. I think we can move on.
We also got to walk in the dig site of the original Jamestown colony, the birthplace of free enterprise and democracy in America. And all of these places are still in use today for exactly the same reasons they were used in the past.
As far as sacred ground goes, this is for our country's history. You're standing on. This is ground zero for so much of what we all became. So
this is the genesis of it all.
Yeah.
As our time in Williamsburg draws to a close, we take the time to ask the people what they think patriotism means.
Literally translates to relating to fellow countrymen.
Freedom, the rule of law, free enterprise, all that.
Love for one's country and one's history.
Doing your duty, some guys join the military, other people do other things. I try and spread the word on history and educate people so they can appreciate what our forefathers have gone through.
Understanding the history of where we came from and what our ancestors fought for.
Williamsburg, for all your hospitality and patriotism, we salute you.
We'll see you out there, America.
Welcome to Williamsburg, best of the road.
The word patriotism, or patriot, actually comes from the ancient Greek patriotikos, which literally translates to relating to fellow countrymen. It has since that time come to connote a love of country, an admiration of one's own country, and I would submit to you, sir, that here in Williamsburg we have both in spades.
Best town in the USA. And I'm not getting paid to say that.
On my left, your right. The first stop on our rally across the U.S. was colonial Williamsburg.
You are all proud every day for your spot in history.
The thing that stood out the most for me was that every single person you talk to burns with a zeal for the United States.
We found out recently, thanks to one of our students who's a military history buff, these are actually howitzers.
Understand something. This is our weekend. If you're going to harass the British soldiers, you're going to have a problem.
Try to get the message to them that history is not, the static thing in your history book. We're adding, it's dynamic. We're adding to that story right here, every day.
Williamsburg is home to the second oldest college in America. Alma mater to Thomas Jefferson, James Monroe, and John Tyler.
Also the alma mater of John Stewart. The original building is still used as a college, even pockmarked with Civil War bullets. Well, I'm about to ring the bell here at the college, and the Queen of England did it. Here. Let freedom ring. Williamsburg is also an active dig site.
Impression in the ground usually, so we have to take that away to be able to get back to the original stuff.
It is here that the seeds of America are being unearthed.
And then displayed for all to see.
Fire shot.
Yeah, we're on fire too.
The whole town is one enormous open-air museum, fully interactive.
So far, our time in Virginia has been amazing, and you can just feel the patriotism among everybody. I mean, this is the history of America, and it is just so rich where we are.
We make the ideals of our nation immediate, personal, and engaging. You're experiencing what we do every day here, telling the story of our nation, keeping it alive and relevant.
Beans, mulberries, and turkey, which is cooking down into a really nice stew right now.
In Williamsburg, they strive to tell the whole story of the United States, including Native American, African American, and European perspectives.
MICH preserved some of their ancient culture, but...
An excellent way to get to know this town is to take a carriage ride.
Down what has been described one of the most historic avenues in the United States. Even take a day to go shopping in one of the historic markets.
Slowly getting together my outfit for the next time we visit Williamsburg. So I start with the hat and then I'll work my way down. Hodgepodge dolls were used to teach children their letters so they can bend in so many different directions. So like, what's this?
Give us an A.
This is a, give me an A. That's like an A, kind of.
In Williamsburg, the original houses from the 1700s have been preserved by the Rockefellers.
In this town, history is the present.
You can see America as it once was, because it still is. Drink a toast to George Washington.
Buy a traditional ginger beer.
Pledge allegiance to the king.
No king of mine.
You can even get arrested for questioning the king's authority.
Chris is currently in the process of getting arrested.
For refusing to swear fealty to the king, and then they clapped me in irons and they made me build their stockade in the sweltering Virginia heat.
No better way to understand the ideals of America.
Here in Yorktown, and behind me is a huge piece of America's history. This is where the decisive battle was won for independence in the Revolutionary War.
In Williamsburg, the ideas of America were born and live strong today.
I'm ready to go down south to Peachtree City, Georgia, and see what they have to offer.
Let's do it.
Peachtree City boasts over 90 miles of golf cart trail. That's insane.
The music touches the heart and soul like nothing else can do. Oh.
You guys like Peachtree City?
Yes!
You love your country, but that you also do something for your country.
And too is just loyalty to your fellow countrymen, but also for your fellow family members and your relatives and your friends and the people that you work with in your community.
I know that I'm going bald. Everything comes in time.
If you're looking to spend some time in a small town that embodies the ideals of the U.S.,
look no further than Peachtree City, Georgia.
Welcome to Peachtree City! Best on the road! Welcome to Peachtree City.
That was the air horn. This is the one, the button that we use to turn the siren on. This sounds like a siren.
Peachtree City's patriotism goes beyond the military. It's in everything they do. Their community is built on American ideals.
The city was pioneered and built for diversity and community.
It's home to the world's largest 4th of July golf cart parade. Hundreds of golf carts decked out in patriotic colors come out to celebrate this holiday. Some kids even look forward to it more than Christmas. Peachtree City also churns out more Eagle Scouts per capita than any other city in America.
The ideas of tolerance and fair play are even seen in the littlest residents.
In Peachtree City, Georgia, and we are loving it so far. If you couldn't tell, we have our very own patriotic golf cart to take us around. And fun fact, Peachtree City is the golf cart capital of the world.
It's unbelievable. The entire city can be accessed by golf cart. And it was built on a sort of a village system layout. So everywhere you go, there's these little community pockets where you can just go and live, do whatever you need. All accessible by golf cart.
Come to Peachtree and take life slow. Rent yourself a golf cart and enjoy the 90 miles of trail. You'll find a place where you feel welcome no matter what you believe.
The layout of the city was designed to promote interaction.
Obviously we're an airport, so we airplanes fly in and out. But being that we're in Peachtree City, there's an awful lot of military folks here, and so as a result, we have a lot of activities centered around the military. So, for instance,
one of the highlights of Peachtree City is the Dixie Wing, a volunteer-staffed reenactment community that keeps old World War II planes in the air.
They're out there promoting history and understanding.
You could even take the chance to go up in the air with them and see the city and America from a new perspective. Get a feel for what life would have been like in World War II as a young pilot. Or just take a chance to relearn the history of that time period. It's all been preserved by volunteers.
Just unbelievable.
I mean, I think that's a lot of patriotism too, is just loyalty to your fellow countrymen, but also for your fellow family members and your relatives and your friends and the people that you work with in your community.
Amazing to watch and see the sort of patriotism of people that are in this town. You know, most everybody here has been in the military or is in the military or has kids in the military. So we, we spend a great deal of time focusing on that.
Do we introduce you as Captain and Clark, or how do we introduce you? This is exciting.
Captain and Clark is fine.
Captain and Clark will work? Okay. Well, Rand McNally in USA Today, a lot of people have heard about this around here, searching for the best of the road small towns in America. And basically, Fort Leonard Wood is one of the towns competing for the honorary title of most patriotic.
Welcome to Fort Leonard Wood, best of the road.
To me, a lot of people, you see them putting the flags out on the front steps, and you see them waving the flags and standing at the 4th of July parades and stuff like that. Patriotism to me is the soldiers, sailors, Air Force, Marines, whatever, that come out, put the uniform on, and serve.
The feeling you get with the community here is unbelievable.
My personal opinion, just caring about the country, caring about the people, caring about the future. Just to see young warriors come out and enjoy a day at the ballpark. Again, Fort Leonard Wood, hands down, the most patriotic.
Patriotism to me is, we have a saying in the Marine Corps called esprit de corps, that is for the love of the Corps. Patriotism to me sounds like it is just a bigger expansion of that, for the love of our country, as opposed to our love of the Corps, and that's basically it.
So, and people say that it's something that you have to try to create, but you're born with it, And if you really believe in America, whether or not you're military or just a regular civilian person out there, if you believe in it, then you are patriotic. Now, the only difference between that and the military takes that a little bit further because we defend the country hard. Now, people say that only the military defend the country. That's not true. There's great Americans back here inside the United States doing what they should do.
Duty, fulfill your obligations.
Respect, treat others as they should be treated.
Selfless service, put the welfare of the nation, the army, and your subordinates before your own.
Honor, live up to all the Army values.
Integrity, do what's right, legally and morally.
Personal courage, face fear, danger, or adversity, physical or moral.
Patriotism is just a love of country, respect for those who helped make the country what it is, whether it's the military, the founding fathers, or the people who day in, day out keep this country what it is.
What do you think is so great about America?
It's awesome.
It's awesome. And to you?
Patriotism means to me is not just that you love your country, but that you also do something for your country, and that you're willing to make a sacrifice for your country and for your community, which is part of the country, and to support those who can make sacrifices.
Patriotism to us here at the Dixie Wing is dedicating our efforts to the memory of the people who made freedom possible for all of us, and the opportunity to show young people how the country was saved from tyranny in the past. And
patriotism is keeping these airplanes flying, trying to get young people interested in history, so we don't perhaps repeat some of the mistakes that we've made in the past.
Sort of the patriotism of people that are in this town. You know, most everybody here has been in the military, or is in the military, or has kids in the military. So we spend a great deal of time focusing on that, which is kind of odd because there really isn't a military base here. You know, usually you get that kind of patriotism, in Fayetteville, North Carolina, or Fort Bragg, or something to that effect. This is just a hometown community of folks who've been in the military. Many of them are pilots. Many of them have flown for the military, now fly commercially, and so their kids follow in their dad's and mom's footsteps, and we do everything we can to sort of congratulate them and thank them for their services.
This road trip has given us amazing opportunities.
As of today, there was only one state in the United States I had not seen or been
to. Today was absolutely no exception to that.
If you find yourself on historic Route 66, take a chance to see some classic Americana, like the world's largest rocking chair.
We even got the chance to talk with some fellow road trippers.
Here we are at the world's largest rocking chair with bestoftheroad.com, and what are you guys doing out here?
Well, we're traveling to see different things that we've never seen before, like a big rocking chair.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You guys take a lot of road trips?
We do. This kind of become a tradition that we didn't really mean to start, but it did. Yeah.
Kind of the great American pastime.
It is, seeing Route 66.
That's fantastic. And I just want to ask you guys, what is it that you think is patriotism?
Okay, well, we think patriotism is getting out of your little small town bubble and seeing all of the country and loving it for what it is.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I wanna drink a beer so I can feel better, forgetting my pride.
opinion, what is it that makes America as great as it is?
That's a really long, in-depth answer. It's very diversified and different, and I think that that's a very specialized answer to everybody that answers it. We have the freedoms every day to do the things, for the most part, that we want to do, and we have an opportunity to live on the land that we want, and to me, I mean, this is my little kingdom here, and I love it, and I have the freedom to be able to do that here. And I've been outside of the U.S. I've been to a lot of different countries, and I've seen people in other countries without the opportunities that we have here in America. And I think that that's why America is so diversified, and why so many people come to America, because they have opportunities here that you can't get anywhere else in the world. I get to play 18 holes of golf with President Bush. So
maybe tell them about the race.
Yeah, okay. The house is not spotless. I clean a lot. In 2000, and here at the 101st, and obviously after September the 11th, we ended up deploying to Iraq, where I spent 4 months before I was hit with a rocket-propelled grenade that took both my legs above the knees. We had one service member killed that day, Sergeant Morgan Buchanan, and another kid lost his hand. And I came back through Walter Reed into Germany, Walter Reed, and then back here to Clarksville, which is where my wife at the time lived and where we lived. And the house came about just with an organization called Homes for Our Troops, and we were looking for a place to live here, and something more like this with a bunch of acreage where we could just let the kids play and shoot off the back porch and pee off the back porch. I can get under the sink, I can get under the stove in a wheelchair to work, and everything is, for the most part, accessible. The counters are the cabinets are a little lower. The counters are actually a little lower as well. I mean, this is what we were looking for, and Homes for Our Troops came through to make that dream a reality, and with the city of Clarksville and donations from the people here in town. And it's a newspaper article I was in. When they did this house for me, watching all the motorcyclists come out and ride out with us, with the flags and the POWMIA flags, and just, it was really cool just seeing people come out for that. And there was a lot of people that actually just came out to help work on the house. So yeah, it's just been it's just really cool.
When you think of patriotism, you've got to think about the military.
And when you think about the military, you might think about Fort Leonard Wood.
While it's an Army post, it has incredible cooperation amongst the branches.
We got the chance to see new recruits entering and graduating.
We even had a special lunch with the general, in which he explained the history and support of the post.
One wouldn't even know that a tornado just hit.
Though it tore right through the middle of the post, the community rallied so quickly that within weeks it looked like nothing had even happened.
Everyone was eager to show their enthusiasm, even by jumping in the gas chamber.
But it's not just the different branches that get along at Fort Leonard Wood.
We wouldn't be able to do it without the civilian people. Pretty much every department, except for the National Guard Liaison, is ran by civilians. And without them, it wouldn't work. They support us fully.
And you talk about a community that has pride and respect for soldiers and what they do. And that's not true in every military installation. But Fort Leonard Wood, it's absolutely true.
More than an Army post, it is also a small town.
Fort Leonard Wood offers a museum,
as well as a memorial walkway honoring those who have fallen.
Sure, I love you, Daddy. So.
As far as patriotism goes, the USO gives tremendous support.
For us, one of the most inspiring programs was the United Through Reading program, in which soldiers can read a story on a disc and it will be sent home to their families.
We've had it work in reverse lately. We've had a couple parents who, my husband's deployed, we heard you do this, can my 5-year-old come in and read? And we'll record the 5-year-old reading and we'll send the DVD to the husband or the mother over in Afghanistan.
On their free hours, soldiers line the street,
waiting anxiously to welcome home their comrades.
And when they do return,
it's to tremendous fanfare. Fort Leonard Wood is also quite famous for its reintegration programs, helping soldiers get acclimated to life back in the U.S.
Here for you, should you or your loved ones need any help.
Just to see young warriors come out and enjoy a day at the ballpark. Again, Fort Leonard Wood, hands down, the most patriotic.
The feeling you get with the community here is unbelievable.
If you want to visit a small town with Spitfire patriotism, visit Fort Leonard Wood.
Welcome to Clarksville, best of the road.
The support and pride in our way of life.
I can stay with a community of people who can support me and understand what I'm going through.
Take my chance.
Selflessness in the decision to be an American. You know, you work together in a community. If something goes wrong in a community, everybody joins together.
I'll call you.
It's actually the people. A lot of people think it's just because we're home to one of the largest military installations in the country, but actually it's the people that live here. They're patriotic every day.
Remember when?
First of all, the diversity. We got so many different people from so many different places. I'm ex-military myself, so I'm from upstate New York, and everybody's from everywhere, and it makes it a melting pot like New York. And it's just full of people with love and friendship.
Morning, you regretted everything. You moved away.
That's patriotism. It's the American spirit.
Well, you can't change your mind.
Thank you, best of the road.
Give yourself a double round of applause.
It has to do with how you feel about your country.
But it's a passion for me, a passion to do this and want to do it. And it's in me. I've got to do it.
A person who believes in the Constitution.
For me, it's standing for what you believe in. To stand up and give personal sacrifice to something greater than yourself.
The willingness to support your country through anything.
Too soon. Tonight is the last time I talk to you. So stay up, you sleepy moon.
Our time in Clarksville was short, but patriotism packed. Clarksville, Tennessee is home to the Bikers Who Care, a collection of bikers who do good deeds, as well as home to the 101st Airborne Division. It has an incredible historic downtown. It is also home to a great deal of Civil War history. Now, the Bikers Who Care is a philanthropic group of hardcore bikers. They ride as part of the Patriot Guard, as well as other good works.
It cost $200,000 to build that little park. We went there, the city let us bulldoze off the property, put up a brand new park. I mean, that's what we do. It's fun.
They come from every walk of life, but they love their bikes and they love their country.
Bikers Who Care would not have ever worked in any other town except Clarksville.
Clarksville preserves its patriotic spirit at Fort Defiance, an actual Civil War fort, which is now staffed by the descendants of the men who originally fought there.
What have you got there, Tom?
Beignet. He was a Frenchman that...
When Clarksville comes out to celebrate, they come out in force.
Military service. Those of you out there on the front line who are bleeding, who are giving everything to secure this nation.
It is the place that many wounded warriors choose to call home. Clarksville is also home to retired Master Sergeant Corey, who now uses his former Marine training to instill in the neighborhood children a love of America. Every holiday and most weekends, he has a flag ceremony with the children.
And I instill in these young children, as I meet them, what we're doing.
What patriotism means to me is respect for one's country and respect for the people who have fought and died serving in it.
The people of Clarksville spend a great deal of time refurbishing their downtown and trying desperately to preserve the history innate to it. They want everyone who comes there to have an understanding of what's gone on. And military is a huge aspect here, one that is greatly appreciated for all they do. It's also a fun town. While we were there, we got the opportunity to meet great country music singers, as well as every other type of music you can imagine. We even had the privilege of dining with the General at his annual 4th of July barbecue, an event not to be missed.
That's when I was in Baghdad a couple years ago with
The commanding general even gave us a tour of his house. The highlight of the day, though, was not the 50-gun salute or the mind-blowing fireworks display, but it was the zeal for this country that was evident in everyone that we met.
Lucky for us, our Saab tells us when it's time to get an oil change, and it's getting a little low. We've about 20% of our oil left. So we are here at the Sid Dillon Saab and Buick dealership, hoping to get it fixed up.
If not, like early now.
We'll do so. Hi guys.
Hi.
How's it going? How we doing?
We're good. We are here for
Starting. We try to keep our oil changes up to date every 3,000 miles, and the guys at Sid Dillon were more than excited to take in the new Saab. The 94X isn't on the market yet, so they were really excited.
Yeah, it's great.
So you like the way it drives?
Oh my gosh.
See, because we haven't even got one yet.
I know.
So we're anxious to see them.
Well, that's nice.
We didn't even have time to drool over the other Saabs before everything was done. Here's what we got done. We got a beautiful oil change. We got our tires rotated because we're about at 6,000 miles. And look at the stunning wash. Wow. So clean. in and out and back on the road. Well, the shell is an interesting symbol because it's in heraldry, the sign of one who's gone on a pilgrimage. And the way that works is that all the lines on the scallop shell represent the many paths of the pilgrim, all going towards an ultimate goal. Just interesting to think about as we're on our own pilgrimage across America, and that every time we have to refuel, we stop at a shell. We are on a pilgrimage. We're on a voyage seeking meaning, and as we go along on this trip, which had its genesis in New Jersey and will end up in LA, we have to think, where have we been? Where are we going? And how have we changed along the way? Only one more town and then, bam, there we are in LA. So what are we going to take away from this whole experience? Each town has had something new and different to offer for us, and we've only had our keen senses and, of course, our tools of exploration to document it. The big question for us, though, is what is patriotism? Is patriotism preserving the ideas of America? Or is it creating a safe community and allowing our future to blossom? Is patriotism the selfless dedication and service to one's country? Is it embracing the freedoms we have in America? Or remembering our traditions? Or creating new ones? Is patriotism celebrating what we have, or trying to connect with our fellow countrymen? Is patriotism quiet or zealous? Or is it all of these things? Something you can only find in the dynamic motion of the open road, and simultaneously in the quiet of our own hometowns. We have one more town left on this journey, and in that time, we have to decide what it is to be patriotic.
You can't change your mind anytime, it's fine by me. You can't change your mind anytime.
As an explorer, you hit those rare moments where your life is completely justified. And this truly is one of them. Well, I wanted to give you guys a tour of the town. So here we are at the public library. And if you'll, here we are at the local business district.
We really wanted to see what the nightlife was like. The McNally Tavern boasts the coldest beer in town. If you're lucky, you might even see a town official working behind the bar.
What do I call you? Are you the mayor? Or are you...
Whatever needs to be done. Elsie, the town's only resident, is the barkeep and the librarian. The library belonged to Elsie's late husband, Rudy, who was an avid book collector.
He was very fond of westerns. There's lots of westerns over there, but any books that he ever had, he never threw away.
Well, here we are in the public library, and I can't choose whether I should check out A River Runs Through It or The Lonely Hermit. But I would like to point out that this is a newspaper from 1940. I think this might have been delivered yesterday, actually. No, by that guy. No, there's nobody out there. It's just us.
We absolutely loved our time in town.
Well, it was the coldest beer in town. And it was the only beer in town.
Well, you won't find a lot of people there.
Some of them died, some of them left. The railroad was discontinued, and it was a railroad town. There was a lot of people, a lot of the guys.
Manawi is a must-do experience. So if you're in Nebraska, stop on in.
It's freedom.
And to be able to help make decisions and not have them forced upon you.
Also, supporting our military in every way you can. Patriotism is the people that stay back home too. They have to support those people over there. They have to be able to come back home to somebody that recognizes them.
Strive for sun, shallow rain. Every limb stretches toward deep blue sky.
The community, and we are a diverse community with
this life.
Okay, marchers, keep those flags held up.
Anybody from all walks of life that you wouldn't expect to come in and, you know, just so helpful, just want to do anything they can to be there and make us feel comfortable.
Day of death is a beautiful place.
Admiring and appreciating and honoring veterans in particular.
Patriotism is being loyal to your country and working hard, and as long as you work hard and have goals, you'll achieve whatever you want in life. So that's mine.
Gotta hold on me. You gotta hold on me. You gotta hold on.
Welcome to Emporia, best of the road.
In the heart of Kansas lies a true American city.
Committed to preservation and remembrance, as much as they are to progress.
I've been writing songs for.
It's a small town of art and inspiration.
They remember the past by looking to the future.
Celebrating the diversity of all their cultures.
The small town of Emporia is the birth of Veterans Day.
City in the United States of America to celebrate Veterans Day. And in fact, the founder of Veterans Day is from Emporia.
It's the first memorial in the United States that represents all wars and conflicts, as you see through the various ones, including up to today.
The community continues to celebrate all that the servicemen have done.
My son was David Blaine, and he was from Emporia. He was killed in Baghdad in 2007. And I feel it's a great honor to have this memorial here.
But it's also a place to get inspired about the American spirit. As an old railroad town, it offers a lot of opportunity for children.
To learn about how trains have forged this country.
Interesting for children of all ages.
It's also a town that is enthused about America.
And likes to share that inspiration and passion with their children. Every day of the week there's some activity in town so that your children can participate. Not only having fun, but learning about America.
In Emporia, the traditional is still cutting edge.
Every Thursday night, there's music in the park and the March of Flags.
It seems like there's always a ceremony or dedication going on.
Emporia is also home to the National Hall of Fame for Teachers. They respect all that educators do for America.
And they want to share that with the world.
And we induct 5 teachers from across the country.
7 o'clock this Saturday night.
Of time capsules that people...
The people of Emporia talked a lot about freedom of press and civil liberties. It is, after all, the home of William Allen White.
Renaissance man, friend of presidents, and true American.
He had a huge role in forming not only the town, but the nation.
But he single-handedly stopped the KKK from organizing into a political party.
He also kept some great company.
That's incredible.
William Allen White, who was a big booster for the community, and obviously we continue that.
So much of Emporia is hands-on.
They want you to be part of the community.
Kids and adults come up and say, we are the people.
Emporia is a rich testament to the ideas that founded this nation.
And a place to refresh your enthusiasm for our great country.
By remembering and celebrating all that we are.
Day of death is a...
Welcome to Rapid City, best of the road.
Well, and I think being here at Mount Rushmore and seeing 3 million national and international visitors that are coming here for a reason. They're coming here on a road trip, but it's more like a pilgrimage. They've seen it in childhood, and they know that it means something to them. It's symbolic, and learning from them, I've really picked up that patriotism is learning about your history and celebrating your culture is what I really have learned and fully believe from meeting so many great people that come here and are so inspired and are naturally patriotic by viewing something that's historic and something that's that really celebrates our history. So
you guys are on a road trip, right?
Yes.
You're from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you take the road trip?
Because I wanted to see the West, see what was out there.
Okay.
You know.
You brought the kids.
Brought the kids, wanted to learn a little bit about our country and heritage, and learn, see some great sights, see some wildlife, experience the West.
If you could have them take away one thing about America, what would it be?
Probably where our freedom came from.
I think Thomas Jefferson was credited with this phrase, and he said, patriotism isn't a burst of something short-lived, but it's a way of life. And I think that really is a good way of describing true patriots. It's such a wonderful country. There's so many things that make it unique. Our form of government, right or wrong, whether you agree or disagree, you get the right to have a voice, and you get the right to participate. And so many places that I've traveled, you've traveled, you don't have that right.
Patriotism, I guess I haven't been to a lot of other countries, but I think people in America really stand behind whatever's going on, even in the event of tragedy or poor decision making on higher levels, or at any of the goods and the bads that go on. I mean, it seems like our people are always there to stand behind whatever we got going on, whether we agree with it or not, just for a collective effort to go forward.
Awesome.
Okay, so we are in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I just want to, these are welcoming to me, so don't be shy. You all may know George Washington, the man who really carved out the nation. It's a Mount Rushmore joke. Rapid City, South Dakota.
Rapid City is the narrative of America. It discusses the history of all its people. It's quite literally the heart of America.
Sooner or later, you're going to show up here. I've seen the Crown Prince of Monaco show up. He looked like a tourist from Minnesota.
They were the first to attempt launching into space. A merging of pioneers, founding fathers, and Native Americans, as is seen by the carving of the Crazy Horse Monument.
We're at the Crazy Horse Monument today, and this is part of the history of America, quite literally coming out of the ground at us.
Here you have also in the modern era the merging of those various cultures and the telling of the entire country's story when you take a look at the 4 faces at Rushmore and now the 5th face at Crazy Horse. And within that is the symbolism of all our core ideals, and it also tells the story of this country.
Thousands of people come from all over the world, many for their naturalization ceremony. This is the spot they choose to become Americans. If you want to look at these monuments, consider a helicopter ride. See the sacred Black Hills from above. Or consider a pedicab tour. Get intimate with the town.
Good work out there.
And meet the presidents up close.
Because no, it's fine. I got it. There's no room with yours up in there, but that's...
Learn of their stories and what they hoped for the nation, while learning the story of those who came before us. Cruise down Art Alley, see the present fused with the past. Or take a stroll through the National Presidential Wax Museum. Or visit the Journey Museum and discover America's earliest inhabitants and how they've influenced the inhabitants of today. Get out and explore our country. Get up close and personal with all of its inhabitants. Drive through Custer State Park and see buffalo.
Just little babies every day.
Closer than you might like. Or even give them a taste. You want living history? Meet the last known living carver of Mount Rushmore.
Thank you, Nick. It is my honor to have you here.
If you want to know America, to learn from her past and be inspired by her future, then come to Rapid City.
At some point, and maybe this was true all along and it just took me a while to realize this, but this journey turned into more than just a road trip. It became a pilgrimage. And this pilgrimage across America reminded me that we are a great country. We're a young country. We've made mistakes. I'm sure we're going to make many more, but the things that we have going on here are not happening anywhere else. In America, you're not bound by where you came from. You, with enough motivation, can be anything. And that American dream is protected. It's protected beyond the will of man. It's protected in documents. We have a rule by law. We have elected representatives. We have a free enterprise system. We have the ability to become whoever we want to be. And on our pilgrimage across America, we've got to see that that dream is still alive and fought for, not just abroad, but here, that people defend it. And it's a magical thing.
I just saw the sun peek through the rain. It gave me some hope. It eased some pain. Right now I can feel that something's getting.
So I think for me, patriotism is treating every American like their family and trying to make that family the best family that you can. I wouldn't have traded this for anything else in the world.
I'm gonna fly right through that big blue sky.
For me, this road trip has been so many things. It's been an awesome experience, and I'm so grateful that I got to experience it with Chris. And we feel so privileged and blessed to be able to have stopped in each town. I think the one thing I took away was that America is beautiful. Not just the countryside, but the people. And I think for me, patriotism is not only loving your country and defending your country, but also doing the same for your fellow countrymen and your fellow Americans. This journey has been one that I will never forget, and I've learned so much, not only about the history of our country and our nation, but about myself. And I wouldn't take any of it back for the world.
Ones that bring smiles. And I want to leave this ugly world behind and go to a place where I can be free. I'm gonna fly right through.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Americana at Brand. We are about to start the closing ceremonies for the 2011 Best of the Road Round presented by Rand McNally and USA Today. And our teams are now making their way around the corner on the trolley. Our first team is Traveling Jewels and Traveling Jewels. Our next team is the Fun Finders, Bonnie and Jim Carr. Bonnie and Jim come to us from St. Petersburg, Florida. Our next team, Gone with the Wynns. Jason and Nikki Wynn come to us from Carlton, Texas. The MICH Navigators. Dan and Joanne Schaub are the MICH Navigators. They come to us from Cary, North Carolina. And our last team, the Captain and Tony Clark and Chris Stodinger. To welcome home our Best of the Road Rally Teams 2011. And what I haven't told you yet is that in just a minute, one of these 5 teams is going to win $10,000 in this Saab 94X.
For us at this point, patriotism means treating everyone in the country like they're a member of your family, and then trying to make it the best family that you possibly can.
We sometimes had as many as 3 breakfasts and 5 dinners, but it was a challenge.
We decided that teenagers usually hate just about everything, so if they could find one nice thing to say about their town, then that was pretty impressive.
For us to change halfway through the trip, we found that the communities, the people, everything involved was just as much as important as the landscape, the beaches, and the mountains around it.
Oh my gosh, fun is a million things, and it's different for everybody, so we just loved having fun ourselves, but also seeing all the variety of things, from having coffee to going whitewater rafting to, anything can be fun, really.
Saab is celebrating its 65th anniversary of selling cars in the United States next year, and I just think about how many people took road trips those last 65 years in Saab, so you're a part of a whole family now.
The winner is Gone with the Wind.
There's $10,000 in the brand new Saab 94X. Yes, you do. Come on over. We're going to ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Teams, thank you so very much. We love you. You did a fantastic job. Thank you so very much for everything you've done.
Saab. Key to the Saab.
Yes, high five.
God!